Ale, ale, ale! Ale, ale, ale! Ale, ale, ale! Guys, welcome to Barca News post-match match analysis or live post-match analysis. We just had an incredible match between Barcelona and Real Betis, where Barcelona won 5-0 with an outstanding performance by the team. And I must say, ladies and gentlemen, we have a team. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. My name is Mo, and welcome to the post-match live analysis, which is after every single match, unless, of course, it's a weekday match, because, as I mentioned before, I do work during the week, so I won't be able to do any post-match analysis during Champions League, which is unfortunate, but that's life. So welcome to the post-match live analysis. As any live stream, we'll talk a little bit about the match, and then we'll head to the chat section, answer some questions, get a discussion going, see what you guys are thinking. And of course, as always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the kit bag. And if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure you head to Bet Us. Both links are down below in the description. Now let's begin with the amazing match that we all just witnessed between Barcelona and Real Betis, where Barcelona won 5-0, the first manita of the season, with goals of Joao Felix, Lewandowski, Ferran Torres, Rafinha, and wait, who scored the last goal? Oh, Joao Cancelo, of course, in what was a complete performance by the entire team, by all the players on the squad, and even by the substitute themselves who came during the second half. Now, we saw a really bold lineup today by Xavi Hernandez, starting off Stegen in goal, Joao Cancelo getting his first start on the right-back position, Christensen and Koundé in center backs. Of course, Ronald Araujo is still injured. And on the left back, of course, we saw Alejandro Balde. 4-3-3 formation with the midfield consisting of Oriol Romeo, Frankie de Jong, and Gabi finally playing in his natural position as an interior. And in the front, we saw the first start of Joao Felix this season, the first start of Ferran Torres, which, of course, he earned it. And, of course, Robert Lewandowski in that center midfield position. Now, overall, the team played absolutely spectacular. There were a lot of fast transitions. There were a lot of triangulations. There were the fast movement of the ball. And it's exactly what we've been lacking this whole time. This is something that I've been talking about now for quite some time. I've been saying that it's not the 4-3-3 or 4-4 or 4-4-2, or whether we're using 4 midfielders or 5 midfielders or 2 midfielders. What we've been lacking this whole time was those fast passes to the space, those fast transition, those screen plays, that fast touch. That's what we've been lacking this whole time. It's not about the 4 midfielders or the 3 midfielders, because at the end of the day, if you're not passing the ball to your attackers fast, it doesn't matter how many attackers you have. You know, we see teams that, you know, like Atletico Madrid, or teams who are lower ranked on the table, that most of the time they only have one attacker. They'll do, you know, a line of 5 defenders and a line of 5 midfielders, and those teams can still cause a lot of danger and score goals because they have that fast pass that immediately they pass the ball to their attacker, leave by himself in front of the goal, hand to hand with the goalie, and they end up scoring. So it's not about how many attackers you have. It's not about how many midfielders you have. You have to have those fast transitions. You have to have those fast passes. You have to be able to do that, because if you move the ball too slow, you give plenty of time to the opposing team to close the spaces, and that's exactly what was happening during the forced Barcelona. And today we saw the total opposite, with the team moving that ball fast, what we got. 5 incredible goals, all of them. Every single goal was incredible goals, and the team finally worked. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a team. We definitely have a team that's able to compete in all competitions. You know, there wasn't a single player today in today's formation that did not perform well. Even the substitutes came in and did their job. But let's talk about Joao Cancelo. Now, the MVP of the match was Joao Felix, but in my opinion, no doubt, the best player on the field was Joao Cancelo. This guy did whatever he wanted with the ball, dropping between lines, dribbling that ball through the middle, through the right, making passes, combining with his teammates, and his goal. My God, receiving that ball out wide on the right, cutting through, completely demolishing Real Betis' defender, scoring that goal. Undoubtedly the best player on the field today, Joao Cancelo. Of course, not to take away from any of the other players, because as I already said, everybody had an incredible performance. Alejandro Balde, same thing on the left flank. Not as much as Joao Cancelo, but nonetheless still doing plenty of damage on the left flank. Of course, Christensen and Araujo holding the defense. Christensen, guys, I still think that he's the most underrated defender in Europe. Completely solid. That guy, it's almost impossible to get through him. Now, in the middle, Gabi, perfect match by Gabi. The best match of the season so far. I think we saw a complete match by Gabi, coming back down, defending, tackling, intercepting balls, pushing forward, making incredible diagonal passes, filtering the ball through lines, breaking lines with his passes and with his run. Perfect match by Gabi. Of course, Oriol Romeo and Frankie de Jong. What a pair. Frankie de Jong and Oriol Romeo as a double pivot. I think we've hit gold with that. No doubt about it. Holding the midfield. Incredible. And for those people who kept saying that Oriol Romeo does not have attacking qualities, that he only knows how to defend, just look at the assist that he provided to Joao Felix. Incredible pass, breaking lines with his pass, air pass, landing it right at the feet of Joao Felix, who missed with the first touch. But then, of course, he did make it up and score his goal. Incredible pass by by Oriol Romeo to Joao Felix. And, of course, our entire attacking line doing an incredible job. All 3 of them scoring. Ferran Torres. Who knew that he had that in him? I did not know that he was capable of scoring free kicks. Incredible free kick, because he kicked that ball around the wall of defenders, not over them, around them, which is incredibly difficult to do. And a very interesting fact is that this is the first free kick goal since 2021, when Leo Messi scored a goal from a free kick goal, which was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, March or May of 2021. So 2.5 years since Barcelona have scored a free kick. And lo and behold, Ferran Torres, the Shark, scores Barcelona's first free kick goal. Joao Felix, incredible performance. You know, I said this many times before. A lot of people were like, well, Joao Felix, he failed at Atletico. He didn't really do much at Chelsea. And I kept saying, guys, the reason Joao Felix did not work out at Atletico de Madrid is because El Cholo Simeone's system did not suit him. Atletico Madrid is a very defensive team. They park the bus. They play long passes to their attackers and expect them, you know, to run all the way to the goal and score. It's a very strict team as far as positioning. There's not a lot of freedom. They don't afford their players a lot of freedom. Very well-structured team. And Joao Felix is the kind of player that needs his freedom. He needs space to roam. He needs to come back behind lines, go through the right, go through the left, go through the middle. He needs that space to express himself, to be free with the ball. And that is why he didn't work out at Atletico Madrid. As far as Chelsea, he was there for 2-3 months. You can't really make any judgments of that. But today we saw that Joao Felix that we all fell in love with when he was at Benfica, you know, dropping behind lines, creating plays, distributing the ball, combining really well with Robert Lewandowski. By the way, I'm seeing something starting to brew between Lewandowski and Joao Felix. They've only been together on the same team for about a week, and there's already chemistry developing between the two. I think these two are going to be lethal together in the future. So Joao Felix, definitely amazing performance. And then Lewandowski, well, what can I say about Lewandowski? Doing what he does best, scoring goal when he gets the ball in the box, which is what we've been missing this whole time because people kept saying, oh, Lewandowski's finished. Lewandowski's done. We should sell him. And I kept saying that's absolute nonsense. Lewandowski's far from being done, and today was proof of that. The reason why Lewandowski wasn't scoring is because the tactics of the team were not favoring him. People were not getting him the ball in the box. We all forget that Lewandowski is the kind of forward that gets the ball in the box and scores. He's not a player who gets the ball, in the middle of the field and can run and dribble past players. That's not him. He needs the ball in the box in order to score it, and we saw that today. He got the ball. He scored it. Lewandowski's not finished, guys. Let's stop being toxic against our own players. And the moment they have one bad match, start talking about selling them and how they're done. That's not the case with Lewandowski. He didn't have the proper players or the proper plays or tactics to get him the ball. Today, Joao Felix and other players got him the ball, and he scored. Great match by the entire starting 11. We'll talk about the substitutes in a little bit, but let's head back to the chat section. Or let's start with the chat section, do some comments, some questions, see what you guys are saying. But I feel elated. I'm incredibly happy with the performance of the team today, and I think we have a really good season ahead of us. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. I see a lot of comments there were people waiting for before the live stream began, so I'm very happy that you guys waited. Thank you again. Football Nihilism says, what a great game overall. 100% agree. Ashab says, hopefully this game will show Xavi what happens when you have three attackers. Again, it wasn't about having three attackers. It was about the fast transitions that finally the team got it down. Blaurana Kule says, Xavi completely hit a home run in this match. Felix had an exceptional debut. This is exactly what we needed just before a Champions League tie. Haven't seen Barca play this well in a long time. Agreed. Of course, the best match of the season so far. But again, the season has only had 5 matches so far. I think the last time we played this well, I want to say the match against Real Madrid in the Super Cup final, maybe. But definitely the best match in a long time. Betis says, what a match. This is what the 4-3-3 does. Again, not about the 4-3-3. It's more about the fast transition, the fast combinations that the players were implementing. I'm sure the 4-3-3 helped in a way because Gabi did finally play in his natural position as an interior, and he had a much better match than when he plays kind of like as a 4 midfielder / left winger. But it was more about the team moving that ball fast, hitting those fast transitions, hitting those passes to the empty space like quickly. And that's what happened. All right, let's see. Hopper says the thing that sucks is that Felix and Cancelo are already being key players, and it's too early to talk about this, but I know it's Barca supposed to buy them if they work out with. So there are reports, and I talked about this in previous videos, that Barcelona has negotiated an option to buy with Atletico Madrid for Joao Felix. We know that they negotiated one with Manchester City for Cancelo worth 25 million euros. But there are talks that there is a secret option to buy between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid to buy Joao Felix. Of course, neither Cancelo's nor Felix's option to buys were included in the contract because of the financial fair play rules. But there are some reports saying that those agreements are still in there, are still in place. They're just not on paper as far as it concerns La Liga. But there is a contract, a private contract between all parties. So there is talks that Barcelona will be keeping both players. Now, as far as the salary cap, of course, we all know La Liga just reduced it to 270 million euros, which is, absolutely a big blow for Barcelona. But of course, that will change next summer. Salary caps are set every season. So by next summer, we will have a new salary cap. And hopefully by then, Barcelona will be able to register these players. Of course, I'm sure there's going to be more exits next summer. Hopefully, Dest, Lenglet, those players can finally leave on a permanent basis rather than on loans. So we'll see. Of course, there's Marcos Alonso, Sergio Roberto's contracts will both expire next season, next summer, which I'll doubt is going to be renewed. So financial fair play rule for next summer will be a whole nother story. Don't worry about that. Right now, the problem is the winter because we are bound by the current salary cap for the winter transfer market. Next summer, whole nother story. Of course, we'll talk about that later. We're still a year away or 11 months away. So don't get ahead of yourselves. All right. Dami Lola says the passing tempo didn't improve. Yes, it did. And we had 2 new players in the lineup, yet the match and scoreline were so satisfying. That passing tempo definitely improved. We saw that in, let me see, definitely in Joao Felix's goal. For sure in Lewandowski's goal. Let me think. There were a couple of plays. Joao Felix had one where he missed. Well, the goalie blocked it. Lewandowski had another one where the goalie blocked it. And they were all a result of fast passing. So no. So yes, the passing did improve. Of course, it's not there yet. It's not what Barcelona used to be. But this is a good starting point. So the passing tempo did definitely improve. Okay. So let's go back to let's talk about the substitutions because we saw a total of 5 substitutions. We saw 3 substitutions come at 1. Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, and who was the third one? There was one more who came in. I can't remember who. I don't know why. But we saw Oriol Romeo come out, Ferran Torres and Joao Felix come out, and instead we saw Rafinha play on the right wing. Gundogan. Gundogan was the third substitute. So we saw Rafinha play on the right wing, Lamine Yamal go on left, and then Ilkay Gundogan taking that interior position with Frankie de Jong dropping more as a single pivot. Rafinha immediately hitting that goal, that banger goal. Incredible goal by Rafinha. I said this in a previous video. You know, he had really good matches with Brazil, especially against Bolivia. He scored a goal. He provided an assist to Neymar. He could have had way more assists because he made some really incredible passes that unfortunately his teammates could not, score. So he definitely had a really good performance with Brazil. And I said, I really, really hope that this will translate into great play with Barcelona. I also think the fact that Lamine Yamal has benched Rafinha, that will also influence Rafinha, kind of light a fire under his ass and, push him to perform better. And I think that's what we saw today. Now, of course, he only played 30 minutes, so we can't judge much about 30 minutes. But the few 30 minutes that he was on the field, we saw that incredible goal. We saw some improvement, not necessarily a 10 out of 10. He still lost the ball a couple of times. But I'm definitely seeing a Rafinha that's a little bit more motivated, if you may. Not that he wasn't motivated before, but I think the added pressure of Lamine Yamal benching him, or Ferran Torres getting in front of him too, because Rafinha is pretty much third in the pecking order right now. I think that added pressure has definitely helped. Now, I really, really hope that this is the case, that this continues, that we continue to see Rafinha performing great. I don't think he had a great season last season, but of course he was his first season, and first seasons are always an adaptation season. I still think he's not Barca material, but I really hope and pray that he proves me wrong, because I really want for Rafinha to succeed. I want all of Barcelona players to succeed. I don't care about being right. I want players to prove me wrong. I want all players to be amazing, and I don't care about being right or wrong. I just want to see all Barcelona players perform well and succeed, because if the players succeed, the team succeeds. And at the end of the day, that's what we all want to see. We want to see Barcelona win. It doesn't matter whether we're right or wrong, or maybe to some people it does. To me, it doesn't. So great goal by Rafinha. Lamine Yamal, we saw him on the left wing, a little bit out of his comfort zone a little bit, but nonetheless still performed really well. He had a couple of really good passes, crosses into the box, that unfortunately did not become goals. But I think I really want to see Lamine Yamal more coming off the bench rather than starting. I think Lamine Yamal, 16 years old, yes, he's the most talented winger that we currently have, but I really prefer to see him coming off the bench. I don't think we should be putting the responsibility of the right wing on his shoulders. He's too young. I think I would prefer to have Ferran or Rafinha start ahead of him. Then he can come off the bench, because that way, not only do you protect his health, But you're also, by taking that added pressure, taking that responsibility away from him, that allows him to be more free, to play better, because he doesn't have that pressure. He's 16 years old. He should not be responsible for Barcelona's right wing. That should fall on Ferran or on Rafinha, who have a lot more experience than him. He should just be allowed to come off the bench and just play and do what he wants, because he will shine better that way. The third, Ilkay Gundogan. Even though he only played 30 minutes, I think this was his best performance yet. We saw him how comfortable he felt on the ball, just with his dribbling, with his movements, with his distribution of the ball. I think with every match, ever since Ilkay Gundogan landed in Barcelona, I've been seeing an improvement, a gradual improvement with every single match. Every match he gets better and better and better. So very happy with Ilkay Gundogan. I think he was a great signing, and I think he's gonna be key in Barcelona's Champions League aspirations. Now, when I say aspirations, I'm not talking about Barcelona winning the Champions League. That's not the case, but definitely in at least advancing out of the knockout stages. Now, 2 more substitute we saw. Iñigo Martinez, who came in for Andreas Christensen. I think Andreas Christensen is still not 100% physically. He hasn't finished a single match since we started the season. So it's good that we protected. It's good that he came off. And then, of course, Alejandro Balde coming off and Marcos Alonso coming in his place. Also really good because Balde has played every match. No, he didn't play against Villarreal, I think, or Cadiz. But nonetheless, he's played 4 out of 5 matches, the 2 matches with Spain. So important that he came off. Really good substitutions. The only complaint is, and of course, this is more of an impractical complaint, because at the end of the day, you only have 5 substitutions. But I really, really, really strongly think that Lewandowski should have come off, because Lewandowski has played 90 minutes of all 4 matches before this one, of the 4 matches of La Liga. He played both matches with Poland during the FIFA international break. He needs to be rested, especially because we have the Champions League match against Antwerp in only a few days. So I really think Lewandowski should have been rested. But again, I understand you only get 5 substitutions, so your hands are tied. Now, all subs did well. Marcos Alonso, he had a couple of really good crosses. He was really solid with his attacking. I know a lot of people love to hate on Marcos Alonso. It's almost a hobby between Barcelona fans. But despite only playing 20 minutes, I think they were solid 20 minutes by Marcos Alonso. You know, this is the kind of players like Marcos Alonso and Sergio Roberto that we need. Unfortunately, we do need them, because they're the kind of players who can come off the last 20, 30 minutes, give a rest to the starter, and they can still do their job in those 20, 30 minutes. They're not players that I would start, or maybe if I did start, I would start them against weaker teams, but definitely not against big teams, not in Champions League. This is the kind of players that you do need on your squad, because, like I've said many times before, you cannot have 26 stars on your team. It's just impossible. You need players who are totally okay with being subs for most of the season, for playing, 20, 30 minutes every now and then. That's exactly what players like Marcos Alonso and Sergio Roberto are, who can come off the bench, give rest to the main guys, and still do their job. Okay, let's get back to the chat section. See what you guys are saying. There's a lot of activity in the chat section. I absolutely love it. Let's see. Yeah, Yamin says, how was your day? My day was a freaking amazing. Thank you for asking. Let's see. House arrested. I hope that's just your name and that you're not actually arrested at home. He said it before, Rafinha is a dog with a proper right back. It generates additional space for him to operate and look at the balls. I don't know about that, because, again, this is just one match. He only played 30 minutes. So, can't really make conclusions all of a sudden. Oh, he had a good 30 minutes. That means he's great. Let's wait. Let's see how he plays throughout the whole season. Again, I really hope he does amazing the entire season, but I don't know if we can make conclusions based on just 30 minutes of his play. Hart, what's up, Hart? By the way, you guys, you don't know who Hart is. He's the one who edited the intro for the channel. He's also the one who edited the Spotify Come Now video. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you see it. So if you need any of your editing needs, hit up Hart. Very talented individual. And I'm very glad that I was able to meet him, not in person, but online, because he definitely added a lot of value to this channel. And Hart says, Cancelo is definitely the missing link. And yes, I agree 100%. Whew. We haven't had a proper right back since Dani Alves left. What year did he leave? 2015, 2016? So we haven't had a proper right back in many, many years. And how refreshing it is to see a proper right back who can create all the chances and danger that Joao Cancelo was creating today. I'm very glad that we signed Cancelo. Even though it's just on loan, I'm very glad that we did. And we saw the difference that it makes to have a proper right back, especially in a team like Barcelona, because many teams, they use their right backs as just a defensive line who stay back. But in Barcelona, who depend so heavily on their fullbacks pushing forward and contributing to the attack and making kind of like widening the field, it makes a huge difference to have a proper right back. All right, Curtis says, for all who said that we don't need Felix, well, I hope you see why we were telling you that he is a boss. Yes, Felix is absolute boss. Hopefully he can continue balling all this season. Let's see. What else? Oh my God, I really, really hope. Okay, I don't want to butcher your name, so I'm just gonna say David. And please forgive me. But David says, Mo, thanks for the good work you are doing for us, Barca all the way. Thank you, David, and thanks to all of you amazing people who tune in and watch the channel. If it wasn't for you guys, I would be just some crazy guy talking into my camera. So don't thank me. Thank yourselves, because this is all thanks to you amazing people. And Mick Barca, what's up, Mick Barca? He says, hi, Mo. La Liga English commentary had a former Barca player. Is that a player, a former Barca right back? Albert Ferrer. Cool. I actually watch all my football matches in Spanish. I hate watching football in English. I think commentators, English-speaking commentators, whether they're UK-based or American-based, they're very boring. I feel like it's like watching a chess match. So I prefer to watch my matches in Spanish. Spanish-speaking commentators, I think they're a lot more lively. They're a lot more descriptive, but that's cool. Thank you for that information. All right, let's see. What else? Grandmaster Yoda says, Joao Felix is the missing... Oh, I don't know why your comment disappeared. There you go. Joao Felix is the missing flashing winger that Barca needed. I don't think he's the missing winger that we needed. He's the missing playmaker that we needed, because Joao Felix is... Even though he did start on the left wing, technically, he was dropping a lot into the middle. And that's where he shines best. Coming from behind, distributing that ball to the attackers in front of him. That's what he does best. Kind of like a second striker who can also make run to the box and score. And we saw both of him doing both of that. We saw him distributing that ball. And we also saw him, making those runs to the box. He scored a goal. He almost scored a second. I'm very, very happy with Barcelona signings. Okay. Globo says, if we can bring this sort of play to UEFA, we will kill it and we will be on our best run. Yes, if we can continue playing like this, I think we can do some damage in the Champions League. But, and I can't stress this enough, I think it's very important that we don't start thinking all of a sudden, because we play good against Real Betis, that we are going to win a treble. I know people like to always, hype themselves up, and then they get disappointed and they blame the team and the coach. And it's like, no, you should blame yourself, because you're disappointed yourself because of your own high expectations. Yes, the team has played a great match, but this is just one match out of 38 in La Liga. We still haven't played Champions League. We still haven't played Copa del Rey. Let's take it one match at a time. This is still a new project. There are still plenty of new players on the team. So let's take it one match at a time. Of course, this match was amazing. Okay, let's see. What else? Jazz says, Mo, Barcelona attack is becoming very interesting with more experienced players. Kudos to two. Wow! I had to say that, guys. I'm sorry. All right, and Stefano says, Cancelo, him playing... Oh. There you go. My computer's a little bit overheating for some reason. I think my computer is excited too about the match. But Stefano says, Cancelo, him playing in the interior really helps piece the team together. What a performance by Romeo and Gabi and Frankie. Yes, thank you for mentioning that, because I think the performance of Gabi and Frankie and Romeo was kind of a little bit overshadowed, perhaps, because, of course, our entire attacking line scored goals. And they were all wonderful goals. So it was kind of overshadowed. But this match was won by our midfield. Frankie and Romeo are an absolute incredible double pivot pair. I mean, these guys can hold the midfield like no other. They can stop any attacks. And then with Frankie having that extra freedom, thanks to Romeo being there, can really drive that ball forward. And Gabi just had a spectacular match. Incredible match by Gabi. Complete match by Gabi, both defensively and offensively. So, yes, incredible performance by all three midfielders. And I have to say, now, Frankie de Jong, we did pay some money for him, but the fact that we only paid $3.5 million for Romeo and the fact that we signed Gabi for free, this absolutely blows my mind. I mean, we didn't sign him for free because he came out through Academy, if you know what I mean. But this absolutely blows my mind, because this is a top quality midfield with very, very little money. While other teams in Europe are spending 120 million euros per player, Barcelona are signing players, world-class players, and developing world-class players for almost next to nothing. Imagine if Laporta was president during the Bartomeu years, what we could have accomplished football-wise and how much better we would have been economically without spending those outrageous amounts on failed players. Okay, Isaac says the most underrated defender in his generation, Christensen. Remember when he was coming to Europe for the first time and he chose Chelsea over us, and now I'm not even mad. 100% most underrated defender, Christensen. The funny thing about Christensen, when Chelsea were kind of having that, they were selling half of their squad because they had just gotten hit by financial fair play rule fines and restrictions and all of that. They were kind of having a fire sale on all their players. And Madrid signed, Rudiger. How much did they pay for him? I think it was like 80 or 100 mil. And then we signed Christensen for free. And I remember to this day, every commentator, every Real Madrid media personality, every mainstream media in Spain just laughing, talking about how, Barcelona signed a bum and Real Madrid got the real star, the real defender from Chelsea. And I wonder who's laughing now. Because Christensen, top 5 center backs in Europe, and we paid €0 for him. €0, guys. We didn't pay anything for him. An absolutely incredible center back. So remember, not to laugh at others, because they will come back and bite you in the ass. Sean says, thoughts on the links to Sancho on loan? No such thing. All right. And Moose says, where are all the Xabi out fans today? Thank you. Because Xabi has actually been nominated to the best coach category. Let's not forget Xabi won La Liga on his first full season. Something very incredible, very incredibly hard to do for any coach to win your first season as a coach, to win the league season, as a coach for the first season with a brand new project. And to win your league is an incredibly difficult thing to do, not just in La Liga, but in any league around the world. To do that is incredibly difficult. It's even more difficult when you're going through all the financial trouble, the financial fair play rule restrictions, all of that. That makes it even that much more difficult. But yet people want to underestimate and undermine what Xabi did his first season, which is win La Liga. Which, again, till this day, I don't think most people even comprehend how difficult that was, given the situation of the club and the situation of the team. but they still want to talk about Xavi out. Laporta, who built the best Barcelona team in the history of the club and one of the best in the history of the world, has full faith in Xavi Hernandez, but yet Barcelona fans think that they know more than him. Xavi has been nominated to be one of the best coaches in the world by professionals, but yet Barcelona fans think that they know better. It's incredible. I'm telling you. Sometimes I wonder why anyone would want to be a Barcelona coach or a Barcelona player when you have fans like this, where if you, God forbid, you have one bad match, they just want to slit your throat and throw you out to the dogs. It's incredible to me. But anyways, let's do one more comment and then we'll end this live stream, because I still have to do the news video, which will be coming out later. So stay tuned for that. But Barca says, if Laporta was Barca president during MSN era, we would have not created a monster called the inflation of the transfer window. 100 million euros would buy a good player instead of a flop after flop. 100%. Again, Barcelona have been the most cost-effective team. We signed, what was it, five players this summer. Of course, I'm not counting Vitor Roque because he's not coming until the winter, or maybe until next summer. So 5 players, world-class players. These are not like 5 bums for 3.5 million euro. So can you imagine? Oh, Josep, I accidentally clicked on your comment. But since I did, I'll go ahead and read it. This Barca squad has such great depth, but the thing is, how will the players deal with being benched some games or even subbed off early? That's a good question. This is why I always say you cannot have 26 star players. You know, when people are like, oh, well, we have people like Alonso and like Sergio Roberto. This is exactly why. Because when you have 26 stars, they're all going to want to start. And eventually, if you don't start every single one of them, they're going to get mad. There's going to be fights. There's going to be drama. There's going to be toxicity in the locker room. But I think if there's one thing that Xavi really, really, really knows how to do is manage the locker room. So you might like his style, you might hate his style, but one thing is that you can't deny is that Xavi really knows how to manage his players, and he's very upfront about making it clear to the players that you're going to come to Barcelona and you will be rotated. Everybody's going to get to play. No matter who you are, no matter how big or small you are, you will play, you will be benched. So I think he's very good about managing those expectations. So I think as far as that is fine. All right. So sorry about that. I was trying to remove the comment, ended up removing myself. Choo-choo, you're late. How dare you? Just kidding. You can always watch, of course, the live stream once it ends, but I'm glad you joined, Choo-choo, because I have to say this, and I'm sorry to do this to you, but I feel like you set out a goal this summer for yourself, which was to be wrong about everything this season. Now, of course, I'm totally kidding, but the reason I say that is because in the summer you kept insisting that Oriol Romeo was not going to play. He was going to be Hector Bellerin version 2, and yet he's played every single Barcelona match. Then you started insisting that if we played a 4-3-3, Romeo would not start, and today we played 4-3-3 and Romeo start. So I'm just busting your balls, but thank you for joining. Okay. That's it, guys. Thank you for joining the post-match live analysis. Of course, I will be bringing you the news video later on today, so stay tuned. There's some pretty interesting news. I won't do any spoilers. But again, thank you, 1,000 times thank you. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the live stream. Sorry, not live stream. News video later today. And as always, enjoy your weekend. But most importantly, be Barca.